Welcome everybody to NAMM 2020. This is the IK Multimedia booth, and we're here with Gary Holt today.
What's up?
Beautiful. So let's get to some playing before we dive into some questions here. Let's hear these tones. We're playing.
I thought I just did. That's all right. We'll do it again.
That sounds great, man.
That sounds good.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
So before we jump into some questions, I do want to mention that Gary's playing through the Axe-IO right here through Amplitude Dimebag Darrell. So all these
Yeah.
tones that you're hearing are all in the box.
Maybe I should play some Pantera.
Oh,
I don't know. I know a little bit. Maybe fake it. Something like that. It's fucking hired.
Hey. That's a real fan right there.
Thing just rings out so nice.
It's got some nice sustain, man. How's
Yeah.
the feel of the input right here on the Axe-IO? How's it gripping
It feels
for you?
great. I mean, I'm totally unfamiliar with this guitar, but it plays good enough. It's cool, so.
Man, that's awesome. That's beautiful. So let's jump right into some questions here.
Yeah.
So, as the main writer of Exodus, what really inspired you to write your riffs and to really get it out?
The desire to punish people severely, make them pay for ever buying their record in the first place. So, if people buy albums anymore, I don't know. But no, I like riffs, and I like aggressive riffs, and I like them angry and gnarly,
Hell yeah! No, that's beautiful. It really plays through. Can we hear some an Exodus riff real quick?
I already snuck one in there, and you don't know what it was, so I'm not even going to backtrack and tell you what it was. The new Exodus is vile. It's like really obscenely heavy. It's like
The heavier the better.
people aren't ready for it.
Oh.
They're not ready. They have no idea. It's fucking crashing. I'm stoked. I'm very excited about it, in case you didn't notice.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you normally play through Marshall Silver Jubilee, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What inspires you when you're creating a tone? What pulls you into a new sound?
It's just gotta like, it's gotta like move air, for one, on the low end of things, but it's gotta have like the really savage, like mid-range, and that's why like in my signature pedal that I did with the KHDK, Kirk Hammett's company.
Oh, okay.
It has
okay,
built
okay.
in like the parametric mid band that I like.
Oh, and that lets you scoop it and move it
I
all
can
around.
get that wah pedally attack in there, and you just find it right where it's at that most angry
Right.
frequency, and it's perfect.
that
yeah.
most angry frequency.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love it. I
the
love it.
anger frequency,
Anger
Yeah,
frequency.
yeah, that's like 1,000 hertz, because it hella hurts.
Oh man, beautiful. So, you're also a guitar teacher, or a lesson in guitar violence.
I'm not a teacher. I'm a horrible teacher.
Oh,
I mean, I did a video once.
The video was great. It was great.
No, a teacher is someone who sits there with you one-on-one and really guides you. And I'm a terrible one-on-one teacher because I don't have a lot of patience for it. But yeah, I share the 5 licks I know. I know about 5.
About 5. No,
And
the video
it's
was
just
great.
you just try to milk them and manipulate them into different ways. I'm not one of those guys. I mean, for anybody who wants to see 1,000 riffs, stick around till 4 o'clock when my friend Alex Skolnick comes in here, because Alex has he's forgotten more licks than I'll ever know.
Oh man,
Easily, easily. He's a
great guitar
madman.
insane. So, how do you you were playing with ESP guitars? What do you find better for your tone, active or passive pickups? What do you?
I
feel
like
is,
both. I mean, I use my signature set, which is active, and I've used active forever, but I like passives a lot too, and I tend in the studio to track my solos on passives.
Interesting.
It's just
The
more like that
solos,
old school rock vibe and the kind of that biting high end,
that grit right before it's not overbearing.
Yeah, I'm just a
Okay.
rock guitar player on methamphetamine and too much coffee. I've always, that's my roots, is hard rock. It's not in metal, like a kid now might go, oh, I grew up on Slayer and Exodus, but I grew up on Ted Nugent and, and AC/DC and Skynyrd and
All those.
Frank Marino and Robin Trower and 20 million others, Nazareth and stuff. So, I still want to be a rock guitar player above a thrash guitar player. That's what I am.
Oh man. Oh,
Just to play real fast.
just to another level.
Just fast, yeah.
Just fast. So, rumor has it that Kurt Hammett taught you some interesting things on the guitar. Did you get any influences from him, or
He
how did
taught me
you-
how to play. I didn't know how to play at all. He showed me the first chords, you're and my first lick, which he uses, that we both love. And I took it from there. And 6 months later, I was in Exodus. So,
Oh man,
yeah.
escalates quickly.
Yeah. I learned fast. I should be a whole lot better now.
Well, how much do you practice and play at home? How much?
I
how
play all
often
the
do you-
time at home. I try to. My elbow issues have prevented me lately because I don't play tennis, and I'm suffering from tennis elbow now for 2 years, and my elbow hurts right now. But live, it's not so much of an issue because you kind of adrenaline, and you're not sitting there shredding the whole time. Sometimes you're not even using your left arm. If you're sitting there, But I try to play every day, a little bit. I play while I'm watching TV and shit like that.
Okay, nice passive. Just keep it going. What do you find in tone, the studio versus live? The differences, what would you look for?
The main thing is when you get in the studio, I find I have to adjust my playing, because, what works perfectly great and fine live, you get in the studio with the mic on stuff and you hear noise that wasn't there, so you got to kind of change your muting technique a little bit.
Interesting. So more so in the playing even than just the tone.
Yeah, it's more, I like getting tone. It's my favorite part of doing an album, it's like plugging in 10 different amps and just putting everything you can find in front of the input, just oh yeah.
Experimenting and just going crazy. Okay.
Love it.
That's amazing. We just pulled up this patch. Immediately, you just started shredding. It was perfect.
Yeah, it sounds killer. You know, it's like, I mean, I'm not one of those guys who could like play on a tone he doesn't like. I play terrible. I look like I can't play at all. I mean, like my other longtime guitar companion, Rick Hunolt, he could like show up we'll be at some party at some house getting wasted, and there's some horrible little practice amp in the corner with some terrible beat up guitar with strings are 20 years old, and he'll play it like it's the best amp ever. And I play it for 5 seconds, like, oh, this is terrible. I'm awful.
Oh man, so it's crucial to you to
I have to
get
feel
behind
it. I
a
have to
good
feel
tone
it, you
to
know?
have a good. Okay, okay.
If I can't feel it, I can't play it. You know.
Interesting. Okay, no, that's.
I can feel this. This is fucking rad. It's awesome.
Oh, the feeling behind that, it's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Can't go wrong. You know, all else fails, drop the tuning.
When all else fails, go to drop.
It always works.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So let's see. So now that Slayer's retired, how do you feel that you'll remember your time with Slayer?
What was the last part of it?
How do you feel you'll remember your time with Slayer?
It was awesome. You know, I remember it as a good, great, awesome time of my life that was totally unexpected and totally unwanted. You know, I didn't want it. You know, I wanted Jeff to be there. You know, but it started as like a 1-2 tour thing to help out some friends, and I thought it'd be a cool change of pace since I'd been in basically one band since I was 17. And tragedy struck, and I was there till the end, you know. But I mean, they're brothers for life, and I had an amazing time. But I'm ready to play with Exodus again, you know. It's like I had been ready. So you know, not that I needed Slayer to retire and come to an end for that to happen, but you know, it's like at the same time, you know, because I was desperate to get back to playing with my childhood friends, you know, it's like timing was right for me.
Get back to that feeling. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
no, that's awesome.
I need to play some Exodus songs, you know. You know, we just did 2 shows on the 70,000 Tons of Metal boat, and I was like stressing over like whether I remembered how to play my own songs. I was sitting there studying my own material, you know, like, oh man, what if I fuck it up? You know, oh my God. You know, like, it's been a while.
Oh man.
What if I go into like, you know, Dead Skin Mask instead of, you know, and then
Accidentally run
you know.
into.
But it worked out. It was fine.
No, that's awesome.
Muscle
That's
memory kicks in, and yeah, I know how to.
Once
play
you get in
song.
the stage and that feeling,
yeah,
that adrenaline.
Relax, stop thinking too much, you know.
Well,
Yeah, it's cool.
no, that's awesome. So I know you did a lot of solos with Slayer. What particularly inspired you when you were writing those and playing those?
I improvised 90% everything.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, it would start that way, and then I'd kind of maybe on some songs I'd find a structure and I'd stick with it and improvise little bits in the middle of it and stuff. And sometimes like some solos are like just improvise it all the time.
Just
and
go at it and
It was
just
like,
go
oh, this
crazy.
is terrible. Or then I'd do something really awesome, and I'd look over at Warren, my longtime tech, and also Jeff's tech. You know, I'd go over for one of the rare breaks in between songs, and I go, I'll never remember how to do that again.
I'm never playing
that.
that.
Was so good, and I don't know what I did already, and it was 5 minutes ago.
That's
And,
right.
But it's challenging, though, because there's a lot of solos in a Slayer set for me, you know, like, and so I got to go out and like just kind of concentrate on, you know, playing the songs really well and just shredding super ridiculously hard, you know, in a kind of a free-flowing structure.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
it's like, to me, it was almost like just like some jam band. The
Some
world's
metal
heaviest
jam
jam
band, the
band.
most metal.
It's like Fish, but super satanic and evil. You know? It's like cool. You know, I just go out there and just go crazy, you know, guitar behind my head, like Hendrix and shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Just when all else fails, bend a note and put the guitar on your shoulder, you know. It always works.
That's where some of the best music comes
Yeah,
out.
you run out of licks, you just go. Like that, except that hell hurts.
Okay.
Can't do that right now. Ugh, bites.
Oh. Well, I mean, we have a couple more minutes here, and I'm sure everyone would love to hear you play. Would you mind playing for a couple
sorry?
more minutes? We have a couple more minutes here, and I'm sure everybody here would love to hear you play a couple more
Yeah,
riffs.
sure. I'm still down tuned. I forgot. No wonder that key changed when I hit the E string, right? Any requests? How would we do that? What's that? Well, I don't know that riff. Bonded by Blood, you mean? That one I didn't have to stress about knowing on the boat. I think I was pretty good on that one. It was the newer stuff. Like, do I know how to play Blood In, Blood Out? I don't even remember. Yeah. Oh my God, I have no idea how to play that. Something like that. That's wrong, not right though. I haven't played that riff in decades. What's that? All right. Now you're making me work. Now look what you did to me. I ain't warmed up for that shit. But I love that song. That needs to come back in the set really badly, I think. Anybody else? What? All right, you got it. making me work for my supper, right? All right, what do we got? We got time for one more play that riff?
I think
Piranha?
we do.
All right. All right. Thank you. Cool.
Beautiful. So we do have a couple minutes if you want to answer some questions, give your
Yeah,
elbow
sure.
a break.
Yeah. Want to
if-
set that on that stand over there?
Yeah, no problem.
Let's give this elbow a break here. It's pretty beat up. Here, someone want to pick there? Sorry. I might have another one in my pocket. You sang, so let me see what I can find here.
Hey.
Hold on. Let's see. I might have an Alex Skolnick pick. Here you go. You got a well-worn, beat-up one. There you go.
Road worn.
All right, any questions?
Anybody in the audience got anything?
My main question is, where's the next beer coming from? It's that time for me right now. No, never. Just beer. For you, maybe. Anyway, if no one's got any questions, thanks for showing up. You got something. You got your hand up.
Your style with Slayer seems quite a bit different than your style with Exodus. Was it a lot of work to change your style?
Well, I mean, the riffs demand it sometimes. I see Wayne back there. Motherfucker, what's up? Wayne in the house. Some of the riffs are different, so you gotta kind of play them a little more open. Where Exodus, everything's really heavily muted nowadays. We'll, and Slayer, there's a lot more open, kind of like lighter mute, palm muting, and so you kind of work. The riff sometimes makes you play it a little more open like that, But I tried to bring my own stamp into it. The band never ever asked me to do anything but be myself. And they never said, "Oh, you're doing too much of this," or "Stop putting your guitar behind your head. Who the fuck do you think you are? Hendrix or some shit." They didn't care. They're like, "Look at Holt, what a fool." He's a clown. But I had a good time. And I appreciated the fact that they gave me the freedom to do whatever the hell I wanted. I had like kittens on almost every good guitar pick I ever did. And Kerry just laughed. He'd look at it and shake his head. I said, "Well, it's got an upside down cross on its head." He said, "Ain't good enough, pal." But they didn't care. They were perfectly happy having this like total goofball on stage right, which is fun. Yeah.
I noticed when you joined Slayer, the stage show kind of changed.
One other thing you'll learn about me is I'm hella deaf. I have a hearing aid. I'm married to her. She's right over there. You have to speak up.
When you joined Slayer, I noticed that their stage show kind of changed a little bit. They added more pyro. Did you have anything to do with that?
The pyro came later. That didn't come till we did the first Mayhem with Slipknot, and that was a dream come true for me, being an aspiring pyromaniac as a kid, and actually having all this fire on stage. It was, like when you're a 17-year-old kid writing riffs, there was pyro on all of it, just in your head. There was flash bombs, Bonded by Blood, dun 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 dun, like. That's what I saw in my head, not just that bar drop. I saw shit exploding and fire everywhere, and I probably set a few fires trying to replicate it, myself in the backyard. But, pyro is awesome. I love that shit. I'll miss it because shit's expensive. It won't ever find its way on an Exodus stage because I got bills to pay. Yes, sir.
Speaking of Exodus, are you guys touring anytime soon?
Are we what? We go to Europe, and I leave February 4th for Testament, Exodus, and Death Angel. It'll be my first full European tour with Exodus in 9 years. I've done like several U.S. tours in this Slayer era, but it was always much harder for me to like get over there for it, and I've literally done like maybe 6, 7 shows. So I'm real excited for it. It's gonna be good to be out with the boys again. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yes, sir. Dimebag stories? You know, I do and I don't because we were all blackout drunk all the time. He was, you know, just playing and hanging out with him and watching him jam and jamming backstage and just trading thoughts on guitar players and stuff was totally awesome. You know, we did a lot of guitar talking, you know, because he admired a lot of like non-metal dudes too, you know, rock guys, you know. His background was similar to mine, you know. Eddie Van Halen's his hero, you know. Wasn't Yngwie, you know. I mean, Yngwie's pretty badass, you know. He could play a little bit. He's fucking amazing. Anybody else? You? Yeah. Cliff stories? It's kind of the same thing. We spent a lot of time hanging out and talking and drinking, and back in those days, we kind of were really like destructive. We'd break everything and stuff. You know, no like great story like this, like front page headline, like, wow, this, it was so nuts, you know. It was just a lot of good times, you know. Yeah. I'm sorry? Oh, there's a million memories I don't remember. There's whole days I don't remember. Come on. We were like little anime characters who were out of control, you know. We like got away with a lot of shit because we looked so young and innocent, you know. Now we never get away with it because we look old and corrupt, you know. But those are fun days. We had a good time.
Beautiful. We got time for one more.
Yep. Yes, you, sir. Not non-ESPs. I've got a little small Les Paul collection that maybe not equal to my friend Wayne back there, but I got a really sweet one by the 120th anniversary Siberian Tiger I just got, which I got like an old 70s Iceman, which is super sweet. I just bought a 1984 Yamaha SBG 3000, like the real elite Les Paul killer, and it's in showroom condition. And I told my wife I'd stop buying guitars. So I've got enough. Never got enough. But I think that's it. All right. Can I take fucking Garth Brooks off now?
Everybody give it up for Gary Holt.